November 1860. The nation scrambles, fractured on the edge of collapse. Abraham Lincoln, a lanky, illiterate lawyer from Illinois, has just won the presidency. But he's an untested outsider, facing bitter rivals who once mocked him. William Seward, Salmon Chase, Edward Bates. How does this scrappy underdog convince his fiercest competitors to join his team and fight for the Union? That uneasy alliance is just the start of a story about leadership, ego, and transformation. Lincoln's genius wasn't just winning votes. It was handpicking his fiercest rivals for his inner circle, turning opposition into allegiance under a steaming pot of political pressure. William H. Seward was the frontrunner, polished, powerful, and sure the presidency was his. When Lincoln swept the nomination, Seward dismissed him as a rail splitter with no place in serious politics. Yet Lincoln invited Seward into his cabinet as Secretary of State, soothing bruised egos with humor, genuine respect, and a shared vision for preserving the Union. Think of Lincoln as a conductor facing an orchestra of virtuosos, each with their own tune of ambition and pride. Instead of silencing his rivals, he harmonizes their competing voices, turning discord into a symphony. His emotional intelligence allowed him to balance power, listen deeply, and direct the cacophony toward a single, critical performance, saving the nation. Against all odds, Seward and others grew to admire Lincoln's steady confidence and moral clarity. They weren't just political pawns but vital partners. Lincoln's cabinet became a team where respect replaced rivalry, proving that fierce competition could fuel, rather than fracture, effective leadership. Lincoln's cabinet wasn't some cozy team. It was boiling with tensions, clashing egos, and clumsy suspicions. Yet under fierce pressure, these men found unexpected common ground. Salmon P. Chase was fiery, proud, and eyeing the presidency like a hawk. As Treasury Secretary, Chase pushed aggressively for his own policies, at times clashing openly with Lincoln's more measured approach. But Lincoln never snapped back. He listened, studied Chase's fiery energy, and channeled it where it counted most, especially on finances funding the Civil War. Imagine turning a forest fire into a source of warmth and light instead of destruction. Lincoln managed his cabinet's egos like a gardener manages wild vines, pruning where necessary, letting growth happen naturally. He saw that ambition wasn't a threat but an energy source to accomplish shared national goals, a vital contrast to leaders who crushed dissent. When war raged and the nation's fate hung by threads, Lincoln and his cabinet's transformation paid off. The team hammered out policies, issued crucial war bonds, and navigated political storms that could have sunk them all. They went from bitter rivals to indispensable collaborators in one of America's darkest hours. In the darkest moments of war, Lincoln's true leadership emerges, not in commands but in wisdom, patience, and the courage to keep his cabinet united. Lincoln juggled a cabinet torn by regional loyalties, conflicting visions, and personal rivalries, all while the Union slipped perilously close to collapse. At a cabinet meeting in 1862, with scores of lives lost and morale crumbling, Lincoln patiently listened to bitter arguments but rarely lost his calm, sometimes using stories or jokes to diffuse tension and refocus the group. Think of Lincoln's emotional intelligence like a lighthouse in a storm. Instead of being buffeted by every wave of frustration, he maintained a steady beam of understanding, identifying fears, motivating through empathy, and absorbing criticism without defensiveness. This steady empathy was critical for steering his team through relentless political and human storms. By the war's end, Lincoln's cabinet had become a microcosm of the nation itself, diverse, often fractious, but united behind a shared purpose. Their journey from rivals to comrades offered a roadmap for managing conflict, bridging divides, and leading with humility and strength in any fractured context. Remember that cold November day when Lincoln faced down scorned rivals? His real triumph wasn't just winning the nomination, it was winning over opponents with humility, patience, and vision. You can take a page from his playbook, find your fiercest critics, invite them in, and listen harder than ever. Try this next time you face opposition, seek the deeper common ground. That's where true leadership hides. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.